Alright guys, got a little different video. Here we go. We got some fresh meat in. Here it is, a 1997 Chevrolet Lumina, 3.1 V6. Another terms, 3100 V6, front one drive automatic. Problem is, you get in and it does nothing. All it does is click. I've suspected the starter. I have went into and banged on it. And you can go down here and put your hand on it while somebody else turns the key and you can feel it click. So definitely the starter is bad. Either the Bendix or the solenoid inside or something along those lines is not working right. I initially thought that maybe it was locked into the engine itself, into the flywheel. So I took a breaker bar and a socket, 15mm socket, put it on the crankshaft and turned it. And it turned and I heard a little noise and I thought, okay, you know, it's unlocked. Get in and turn it and still nothing. All it does is click, 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 click. So the motor's not locked up. I turned it over by hand twice to make sure there was no problems inside. So that's not the problem. And another thing too, the battery only had around 11 something volts, 11 and a half, which is a little low. The terminals are really corroded bad down in here with acid. But so far, we're gonna go through and go ahead and replace this starter. Okay, so far what I've done, I took the battery out, as you can tell already. The battery sits right here, side post. First of all, to get to the battery, there is two 13mm bolts that you got to remove, and it will remove this whole arm that sits right here. Then you've got to remove this one, just loosen this in a little bit so it'll slide back and forth. Once you get that, then you can get access to this, the windshield wiper washer tank reservoir, and it is held on by one 10mm bolt, which goes right here. And then there's two push pins, clips. There's one here and there's one here. You pop them out and it'll come right out. And you put that to the side. Once you get that out, then you've got a bracket that goes across the battery that I was just talking about. And it goes down like this and sits here. And then there's a 10mm bolt that goes right here and holds this on. Once you get all that out of the way, loosen the battery terminals, you get the battery out. It comes right out. And you can get one of them out if you've got a special tool, like say this right here. I've got this from Harbor Freight for around $2 or $3. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I think that's what I paid for it. It's specifically for side post batteries. I have used the crap out of this thing. So if you want one, I suggest go there and get one. Alrighty, now we're underneath the car. I'm going to remove the starter. First of all, you'll need a 15mm socket, a 10mm socket, or you can have a ratcheting wrench like this. Best tool I've ever bought. I have a whole set of these. I bought these from Harbor Freight as well. They cost me about $20. This is the only one that is a swivel that I do have, and luckily it is in a 10mm ratchet, so that really helps. I used the heck out of this one as well. But first of all, like I said, you'll need a 15mm socket with extension, and probably a better idea is to get a swivel as well to put on here, because I'm going to show you in just a second why you'll need that. And you'll need a 10mm ratchet socket and a ratchet to go with it all. So let's go ahead and crawl underneath and I'll show you what we got to do. Alright, back underneath. First of all, right there's the starter. Got to loosen all those connections and everything. First of all, before you do this next step, make sure the battery terminals or the battery is out of the vehicle before you touch those wires to the starter solenoid. If you touch those with a ratchet, you will get electrocuted. So please unloosen the battery terminals, either the negative or the positive side. It doesn't matter, or you can even take the whole battery out like I did. But anyways, see that little 10mm bolt right here? It's kind of dirty with oil. She's got a bad oil leak. And then there's a 15mm bolt right here. And then once you take the dummy cover off, there's a 15mm bolt right there. And you can get to that with a swivel socket, which I'll show you in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and get that out. Once I get it out, we'll go from there. Alright, I finally got the starter out. Wasn't that hard at all. Like I said, there was that one 10mm bolt and the two 15mm bolts. And like I said, you'll need a swivel. Something just like this right here. It takes it right out with no problem. With that. Right here's the starter. It's pretty shot. By looking at it, it is grinded a little bit when I turn it with my finger. That ain't good. There is some chipping on the teeth. And another thing too, I'm looking at it's caked with oil, so that's probably one of the reasons why it went out, as well as the teeth and the grinding on this thing. So it's pretty much wore out. The car has right at 231,000 miles. So let's go ahead and get the new starter out. It costs around $153 with a core. So whenever I get it done, take the core and put it back in here and take it back to O'Reilly's is where I got it. Part number is N6133337B. Let's go ahead and get it out and match it up and make sure that it's the right one. Okay, we're looking at them really good. They look like they're the same. Another thing too, I forgot to note, when taking the starter out, you get all the bolts and everything out. There are two bolts that you've got to remove that hold the wiring on that go to the starter solenoid on the back, which are right there. One is a 13mm, one is a 10mm. Once you remove those bolts, they come right out. After that, there is a little area underneath the car, but you should be able to get it out. Just wiggle it a certain way and it should fall right out. Alright guys, got ahead and got the starter in. Two 15mm bolts and all the wiring and everything's hooked back up to it. Only thing now I gotta do is put this little dummy cover back on for the flywheel. Put that back on, 10mm bolt, and after that we'll go ahead and put the battery back in it, and everything else in the top. We'll go from there. Okay, the starter's in, the bolts are in, the battery is in. All I gotta do now is take this out and put the arm back in, and the windshield wiper washer tank reservoir, which only takes like a 10mm, which is right here. Once I do that, then we'll go from there. Alright, so everything's back intact. Washer tank, I want to call it a control arm. There is a certain name for that. Pitman arm could be. But anyways, there is your video of how to change a starter in your vehicle, specifically a 1997 Chevrolet Lumina with 3.1 V6 front wheel drive automatic. It's the LS option. Anyways, if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the bottom and I'll try my best to get to them. I make how-to videos every other week or when I can. Thanks for watching. If you hadn't already, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And thanks for watching. Have a nice day.